this is how to get great in the sport of wrestling on a budget. Number one, you want to spend your money on things that are called investments, right? So if I spend 150 grand on a new backhoe, but yet it's going to make me an extra $5,000 a month, within 2 years or so, that thing's paid for. The next 10 years, it's going to make me $600,000. So that would be an investment. You want to only spend money for your kids' athletics for things that you get a return on, right? You get a $20,000 college wrestling scholarship, which is not that hard to get. Maybe even a 40 or 50, right? Sam Frankowski and one of the Javier boys, I forget which one, they're twins, ended up going to the Naval Academy. That's like 250 grand a year. I don't know, 350. There's 600 grand in return that their parents got on their training. So I would just, you don't want to throw money out the window, but you don't have to. So I would say, is this tournament an investment? So going to Super 32s as a middle school wrestler or a high school wrestler can be an investment because the college coaches are there. They're paying attention to the results, right? And that's a better way to spend your money than buying plane tickets and going to a tournament in El Paso, Texas that weekend that has 48 guys in the weight bracket. That's a big tournament. Just because it's a big tournament doesn't mean it's a return on your investment, right? So you want to go to Virginia Beach for high school nationals. If you're a freestyle guy, Fargo. There's about 3 or 4 big tournaments. USA Nationals is good as far as tournaments. Same way with camps. Go to a camp where you know your kids are going to get better and that there's a proven track record of people saying, this camp changed my wrestling career. And if you went to a camp like that, go again, right? Go year after year after year. Don't chase the idea fairy and say, there might be something better out there. It's like if you're catching fish, it's like, let's pull that anchor up and go see if there's any place else that might be better. Like, holy cow, dude, this is one of the best days fishing we've ever had. You want to leave? It doesn't make sense, right? So look for those areas where those camps and training opportunities where there's a massive track record of people having massive success and results. And I wouldn't just look online, but I would ask for, referrals and those types of things. Because what happens is this: if you spend $500 on a week of wrestling, you're buying mat time. You want to buy get better time. It should be a get better opportunity, or an opportunity to where you can take those results and blast them out to some college coaches. How about a home wrestling mat? People say, holy cow, that's $750 for a 12x12. A 5x5 home wrestling mat is $500. I wouldn't waste my money, just a heads up. Get the 12x12, all right? Trust me on that. But is that really expensive? And how can you carve out and budget for that? So then you say, man, my husband's best friend's son's a wrestler. He's only 2 years older than ours kid. They can at least drill together. Maybe you guys can go in on a home wrestling mat, right? Or you say, if there's a tournament, you jump in the car and drive an hour, outside the city, and you go to a tournament on a weekend. Holy cow, you're probably going to stop for dinner on the way home. Who doesn't? That's $100 right there. Plus the tournament is $25 to get in. You, your husband, your daughter, it's $5 at the door. There's $40 to get in. Hit the concession stand. You're at $65. You're at $165 plus $10 of gas. $175 you spent just in one day to do what? To get 8 minutes of wrestling. That's not you need to do those, right? You have to go to tournaments, but maybe you can skip a few of the tournaments that are kind of probably not really necessary. You can't skip districts, right? You got to go to the big tournament in Kansas City where your Missouri USA youth ranking is on the line. Your high school kids, if it's on the schedule, your son has to go to that tournament if he's varsity. But there are many times when you can say, hey, let's stay home and skip that tournament, but we're going to remove money from the bank account and we're going to store it in our home safe, and we're going to wait until we get $750, and then we're going to take that money and get a home wrestling mat. See, that's how you get good on a budget. Then what your kids do is they write down every wrestling technique they know. But I would divide up into positions: front headlock, top, bottom, maybe top can be cradles, tilts, I mean, whatever. Just write it down. My brother and I had our wrestling technique list taped all over our basement wall. And then you say, now we're going to go on the home wrestling mat. And you tell the kids, you say, you're required every day after school to hit 10 high crotches to a double leg and 10 single legs, you can say. That's 100 leg attacks a week. That's 5,000 leg attacks a year, and it only takes them 10 minutes. And then maybe one day a week you have an hour and a half drilling practice where they're required to hit every wrestling technique on their list 3 times. Maybe it only takes an hour. Hopefully it only takes 40 minutes, right? We want to be kind of smart here, but you're starting to get the idea. So as far as tournaments, you don't have to go to all of them. You say, well, I know so-and-so, his kids are really, really good, and they go to all of them. Well, you know what? His kid was going to be really, really good even if they didn't go. He's not good because they spend $14,000 a year on wrestling tournaments, right? If you have extra money, go ahead, do it all. But I think if you look at the tournaments that are really going to help you, that you think could be an investment, and even if your kids go there and they don't win a match, that's okay. It was still a great experience. You know, I would rather go 0-2 at USA Nationals or Super 32s or Fargo than go 0-2 at the El Paso Open, right? Because when you're looking at the results of Super 32s, you're like, holy cow. I mean, some of those kids are going to go on to be NCAA champions, even Olympians. And you get to see all the college coaches and so forth. So there's more of an experience there. And now you can start to follow their results and follow those guys, right? And maybe your kids got to compete. And maybe even we've had several wrestlers go on to be big-time Division I college wrestlers. And, they didn't even place or win those tournaments. But they had some close matches versus the top guys. And, we contact all the college coaches. We do that with our college recruiting service that we operate. And we say, hey, Alex was 4-2 in Virginia Beach. He didn't place. He was in the round of 12, or he finished top 10. But the 2-time state champion from California, named so-and-so, Alex only lost to him by 1 point. You want to see that match. So you don't even have to win all of these matches. You just have to spar and get toe-to-toe. Then boom. Then we use that as a selling point, right? It's a dramatic demonstration of proof. You want to have a dramatic demonstration of proof that, hey, this kid can roll, man. He can go with these top guys. And that's part of the recruiting process too. So that's the reason I would spend my money on those tournaments. Camps, you get it, right? There's a lot of meat market camps, and you don't just want to buy mat time. That's a waste of money. And as far as training, instead of spending 45 minutes twice a week, if you have 2 good practices at your high school, instead of driving an hour and a half twice a week, 3 hours a week in the car, plus sitting in the parking lot, your kids in the practice for 2 hours, I mean, maybe you can say, dude, let's practice at our awesome high school practices, and 2 days a week we'll practice on our home mat, and you can have your 8th grader buddies come over, and you have a plan typed out for them to drill. So now you're saving time as well, and that's super beneficial. That's helpful as far as not getting burned out. So home wrestling mat is also a great opportunity. Now I would get a home wrestling mat from McBride Mats. That's where I got all my mats from. We bought 4 mats, wall mats. I don't know. We have like 6 mats from that guy. But he's an awesome dude. I've known him for years. And McBride Mats. McBride with a Y. He's a great resource to go to get your mats if you had interest. And no, I don't get a commission. I'm just telling you who the man is, who I get my mats from. But if you had interest in that, but that's how we become great at wrestling on a budget. And we've been giving this same advice for years. Hopefully it's helpful. Good luck.